Hello, brothers and sisters. Thanks for joining me. Hey, today I want to talk about the Thin Blue Line in the UK. Not the TV show. That was one of my favorite shows that Rowan Atkinson and crew did years ago. God, the show must be 20 years old, but it was funny. Over the Top was better in Blackadder 4, but I digress. So the Thin Blue Line. I've been seeing videos lately of police interactions with the general public. And over, I see police officers who just don't seem to actually know the law, or they're definitely enforcing laws that are embarrassing the way things are going in the UK. But I've seen a few people confront the police because some of them have been wearing a thin blue line badge. And if somebody doesn't know what that is, I believe it was inspired by thin blue line badges in America after police were killed and to show support for police in America. And basically, it's a Union Jack with a thin blue line, and it's in like black and gray. I was wondering what all the fuss was. I When I first saw it, I was like, hey, I think it's good that the police are in support of their fallen officers and want to show remembrance to them. That's what I thought it was about. But then I decided, let's delve into it. Let's see, why are people upset about it? Don't mind the cat. He's decided to be all lovable. He does this every time I want to start recording for some reason. So I found this story in the Daily Mail. It's about a year old, but I think it still applies. So some of the information it may be dated, but it gave me a good place to start and talk about the thin blue line and kind of think about what I thought about it. All right, so outrage over the plan by Met police chiefs to ban officers from wearing badges, honoring hero cops killed in the line of duty in a move branded an insult. So this was by Matt Strudwick, a news reporter, 24 September 2024. I will put a link in the show notes, so if you're interested, go back and check that out. But let's see what this is about. Metropolitan police officers have been banned from wearing a badge that commemorates hero cops who have been killed in the line of duty. Yeah, I don't like that. That's what I thought the badge was for, too. Why are people upset about it? Commissioner Sir Mark Raleigh, hardline stance announced September 18th, has left cops furious, with one source labeling it insult to fallen officers. Rick Pryor, chairman of the Met Federation branch, said families of officers who died on frontline would be equally dismayed by the news. Yeah, I would think so. Is this the same guy that said he was going to put Americans in jail for mean tweets? I think it is. I wonder how that's going. I better not go back to the UK without talking to a solicitor first with all the stuff I say. The thin blue line emblem, black and white Union flag with a thick horizontal blue line, is intended as a mark of remembrance and respect for those who paid the ultimate price to maintain law and order. Scotland Yard's uniform policy was updated following a lot of engagement internally from both formal and informal groups. Yeah, I think the Karens that have been very vocal within the police force and outside, they get too much power if they're banning this. So I I personally see nothing wrong with wearing that on a uniform. It's the British flag, you're British police, and it's also remembering fallen officers, or that's the intent. Okay, hopefully we'll get to what the problem is here soon. Um, it bans officers on duty from wearing any badges, lanyards, or patches which advertise causes, beliefs, or charities. Okay. I do see how you have to have standards for your uniform and adhere to standards, but any badges, lanyards, or patches. So, can you have LGBTQ plus badges and lanyards? If I'm just asking. However, the Met said there would be exceptions for the Red Hague Poppy, the police memorial badge during respective periods. Yeah, I saw a bit of a to-do a year or two ago where I think people were banning the poppy, which I thought was shocking. People have always gone around selling poppies for charity and remembrance of the First World War, and I think it's for Armistice Day in the First World War, but it's really to support all the fallen soldiers. That's the way I see it. I remember people going around collecting with their poppies. One source said the timing could not be worse with the policy update coming on the 12th anniversary of the murders of PC's Fiona Bone and Nicola Hughes, who were killed by Dale Cregan. I don't know anything about that. Mr. Pryor used Sir Mark to reconsider his decision. Um, Officers will be extremely saddened and angry to hear this news. Families of officers who have made the ultimate sacrifice to keep public safe will be equally dismayed. A, a Met Police spokesperson said, "Our impartiality is key to maintaining the confidence of all communities we serve. After a lot of engagement internally and with formal and informal groups, we've updated our uniform policy. Officers on duty may not wear any badges, lanyards, or patches which advertise causes, beliefs, charities. We have made two exceptions, the redhead poppy and the police memorial badge. So that's just a repeat of before. Met officers working at the Pride celebration at the Capitol last year were told they were not allowed to wear the badge in the Capitol in case it offended LGBT plus community. Okay. Now, but what I want to know is, are they allowed to wear did they wear the Pride badge? And I actually know that this rule seems to be selectively enforced, to be fair, because I do see police officers on many occasions wearing this thin blue line flag um, in um, in a lot of videos that are current. So I think maybe not all forces apply this. If you're in the UK, let me know. Are officers wearing this a lot? Is there a big controversy about this? I think this is just Karens again. See, here we go. American police forces fly a similar flag, but it has also been used by far right groups in the US. So see, that's the thing. Yeah, maybe it has been co-opted a little by far right groups. That doesn't mean everyone who wears it is in a far right group. If some people are just wearing it to commemorate fallen officers, and I don't see anything wrong with that. And if lunatics on the far right or the far left or whatever decide to wear it too, why do I care? So this whole thing is weird. So I think the police made a mistake here. It looks like so these are the two fallen officers who were murdered. Here's an officer right here wearing it, um, out guarding Parliament. It looks like he's guarding Parliament. Yep, another murdered police officer here. The decision for the non-negotiable blanket ban came as a similar symbol based on the American Stars and Stripes and linked to transphobic far-right groups in the U.S. Yeah, but who cares? But it drew heavy criticism with Debbie Adlam, the mother of murdered police constable Andrew Harper, saying it was a symbol of her son's dedication to the force. Yeah, that's how I see it. She told the Mail on Sunday in July last year, "Since we lost Andrew, we've been considered the thin blue line image to be a universal memorial to the loss of these officers. Politicians, senior officers, and campaigners also condemned the decision. One former officer, Henry Miller, said the Met had lost their minds over this." Yeah, I think so. Mr. Miller, who founded the Free Speech campaign group Fair Cop, added, "Nobody in this country says the thin blue line is political. It's completely crazy. We have seen officers wearing all kinds of insignia associated with political causes, none of which they should do." Yeah, that's the thing. Just because far right groups in America are using it, why does that matter in the UK? I it just doesn't make any sense to me. Again, this is Karen's out of control. From former Home Secretary Preeti Patel, also leapt to the defense of the thin blue line badge, saying it was a mark of respect in policing of sacrifices. Our police officers make their service and the threats they face day in, day out. Debbie said, "It concerns me. There are those who want to take the badge away. I hope that today is not the start of the end of the thin blue line and all it means to us in the UK." Advice from the Met commander ahead of the celebration said no thin blue line badges. Patches are to be worn while policing this event. These have been linked to far right and anti-trans groups in the US, and this year's Pride is focusing very much on the trans community. This is non-negotiable, and supervisors are expected to ensure this is adhered to, please. All right. So because it looks like it, now I understand. It's because Karens in the UK do not like it that far right groups in the US are using a similar badge, so we should ban that in the UK. Nonsense. So Met, you guys need to just update your uniform policies. Something like this that is showing honor to fallen officers, and that's the intention, should not be banned. As long as it's tasteful and fits in with the uniform, I don't see a problem. Um, I think you should give an exception for this one also. But because I think they're right. This isn't a political message. This is a message of remembrance for fallen officers. So Met, I think you got it wrong again on this one. That's what I think. Let me know in the comments. Is this a big problem in the UK? This is about a year old, but I do see people wearing this badge and I see people calling them out for it. Generally, auditors are the ones that I've seen doing it. And I think in this case, the auditors are making a mistake by calling them out. They're just looking for any way to rile up the police and look for the police doing anything wrong. And so I don't see a problem with this, but and I do see that it's selectively enforced because I do see officers occasionally wearing this, and I do see them occasionally wearing pride type badges and things like that. Pride badges are definitely political in my view, so so I do agree with the general policy that anything that is overtly political shouldn't be worn. But that's not the main purpose of this, not in the UK. It's not the main purpose of it in the US either. Main purpose of it is to honor fallen officers. It was, if I remember right, it came out around the time there were like 5 officers shot by a lunatic in Dallas, a sniper. And that's when I started remembering seeing people wearing the thin blue line badge to support officers. That's what it was for. That's it. So if you like me, give me a like and subscribe. If you don't like it, don't watch me or tell me in the comments where I'm way wrong on this one, but I don't think I am. Thanks. Bye.